Let me paint a picture for all you listeners right now. We're currently sitting on a nice couch, surrounded by some dogs, in a brand new location for the Half Done.
We're also currently being forced to pay considerable attention to these dogs, as well as just kind of staring out a window towards a lovely little landscape that's not usual for the Half Done. So we're kind of high class today.
We are. It's kind of like, it's a nice little summer vacay from our usual studio, which consists of also a couch and a laptop. But yeah, things are nice. The sun is pretty high up still, even though it's the nighttime. Well, it's the evening, I'd say. We got a nice big dog right here. Some nice brown wooden cabinets, and there's a fireplace. What else can I say? Nice wooden floor with a big rug. It'd be kind of cool if there was like a polar bear, like fur. You know what I mean?
Yep, a big fur.
Yeah.
Just like a big fur across the ground. We're sitting atop some hardwood floors, and there's a nice little sectional rug that's underneath, but it'd be kind of cool if it was a big majestic fur of some sort.
Yes, dying by natural causes, of course.
Yes, because we don't condone the hunting of polar bears because they're endangered species.
Correct. Speaking of polar bears, now that we're on the subject, I heard this dog is kind of like a polar bear.
I would say very much so. Maybe a little bit more so needy, because she doesn't like to not be getting petted. And when we have the other two little dogs with us, she likes to push them away so she can get full attention.
Yeah, it is kind of rude, but it is kind of nature doing its course.
Yep, it's survival of the fittest. So, with that being said, I'm Nick Bell.
I'm Drew Helland, and you're listening to the Half Done Podcast. Thanks for tuning in.
I was gonna say it's been a little bit since we've been on here. Lots been going on, we're in some high class digs right now. Just lots kind of happened since the last one, so we'll give you guys a rundown and just see where life takes us.
Yeah, I think most importantly, what's happened recently is we met up with currently our first collaborator with the Half Done Podcast, which is the hip hop collective Basement Pros out of Utah. You want to tell them a little bit about that?
Oh, absolutely. So, Basement Pros, they made their way up to good old Sioux Falls, South Dakota not too long ago on their natural disaster tour. And those dudes, we've been jammed to their tunes for before we even knew them. But those dudes put on a hell of a show. It was at one of the local venues. Unfortunately, it wasn't just a sold out crowd, but for those of us that were there, it was a pretty dope show. They gave it their all. The lights were great. The sound was great. They're high energy. I didn't have anything bad about it. It was a lot of fun being there. They're a cool group of guys. When they get on the stage, you know why they're there. It's kind of fun too. Like when I was hanging out with them ahead of time, a little bit after the time, just super down to earth.
Nice.
Real down to earth, and they're out there touring. They love the music. They love getting out performing, and that's their thing. And then they also, like us, have to work day jobs and be adults at times. So it's kind of cool getting to see people that are in a similar role, getting to play out and do what they really enjoy doing, as well as carrying on that quote unquote professional adult life. So real dope show. Shout out to Basement Pros again. We'll be looking forward to seeing them here pretty soon, hopefully. So
totally. And I know it's kind of cliche to say, but the saying kind of came up into my head, like, just living the dream. I think it's great that artists of all different types of walks of life are just going for it, especially with a hip hop coming to South Dakota. you know, it's not, it's kind of unheard of, you know? So I do think that's cool. Coming to like a local place, just playing their stuff and like going for it. Yeah, I'm really glad that you got to meet up with them and stuff. That's really cool.
Yeah. No, it for sure. It was real dope, and hell, we're gonna have to have them on the show at some point again, just to kind of catch up, see how the tour finished out for them. I know they came from they went all the way from, you know, I think Kansas through, you know, South Dakota. They're playing some shows over in Wisconsin, Chicago, Iowa, down in St. Louis. I mean, it was kind of a Midwest hop, and it sounded like it would have been a hell of a time. And I was kind of jealous they were out on the road doing it. But yeah, we'll probably have to get them on here just to let us know what that tour life was like, and how bad the groupies were.
Yeah, exactly. It is kind of cool how Sioux Falls has kind of become a somewhat of an oasis, you know, in between, you know, like Omaha or the Twin Cities, or even you know, like Winnipeg up in Canada, because no offense to North Dakota, or like even Montana, but they're just like, you know, there isn't like that, like, you know, huge spots. You know, there's like big cities and stuff, but nothing like. I feel like Sioux Falls does have like a really good culture surrounding the arts. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's cool that, you know, people are coming through. We have some great venues, like no matter like what size, groups that want to come through, which is cool, because, you know, no one likes playing in front of like an empty place if it's like a ginormous stadium. You know, I don't know. Yeah. You know what I'm trying to say?
I'm picking up what you're putting down. Okay. It's Sioux Falls is kind of nice because it's like a miniature. It's like a miniature version of the cities, or I mean, a smaller version of Omaha, where you have a variety. I mean, we have the big event center that, you know, puts on big shows. I mean, hell, they had Foo Fighters and that over there. And then you have a smaller place that, you know, can handle a few thousand, and then you have a bunch of places that can handle, you know, couple few hundred. I mean, hell, even down to a couple of the real small shops that, I mean, hell, you can get 50 people in there, maybe. And they do a lot of stuff over the summers too, which is sweet. Sioux Falls is really, I mean, it's a real cool city for the music scene. I mean, just the art scene in general. It feels like they actually, you know, put a care in. There's people that actually want to, you know, enjoy them and actually enjoy having stuff like that around, which is nice, since we enjoy that as well. And, you know, kind of plug here, but also it's good for Tenenbaums to be able to play some shows here locally too. So
very true. In fact, we've kind of taken a little bit of a break, but we'll be playing our first show in a while on June 22nd.
Yeah, I'm pretty pumped to tag along with you guys. I don't know if I can disclose all the details. But
go for it.
I was gonna say, well, this will be the press release here.
There we go.
We'll get all the cameras and everything. But yeah, like you said, June 22nd, you guys are gonna be down in Omaha.
Oh no, this is actually in Sioux Falls.
Oh,
the other one, yeah, that's in July.
Oh, wrong month. June 22nd, you guys are gonna be in Sioux Falls. Is the 22nd a Friday? Yep.
That is a Friday as well, yes.
Yeah. So be there. Where is it at?
Downtown at Total Drag.
Oh, right. Yeah. So yeah, be there, Total Drag. I'll be there. I'll be in the crowd. I'll probably hawk some merch for them. Mm-hmm. So if you see me, I'm gonna hound you.
Well, we'll put you on the half done.
Yeah, we'll get you on the half done. We can. Maybe I'll go around. I'll do some interviews and everything. I mean, show up and just have a good time. Total Drag, it's like I was talking about earlier when I was envisioning those really tiny venues. Mm-hmm. Total Drag's not a big place by any means. So if you want to get intimate with the crowd,
oh yeah,
and if you're in the crowd, you want to be intimate with everybody around you, you should show up, because it's pretty tight, but it's a fun spot to stop. So it'll be good. It'll be the return of Tenenbaums to Sioux Falls. Maybe a big tour. We're getting ready to have you guys go global, it sounds like. So,
well, the way things are going with you and your emails, we're looking good right now.
I have my professional emails on lock since that's half of what I do in my professional world. So, yeah, we'll see. I'm excited to see where you guys are getting some playing. I think this summer could be a good summer for you guys. So,
I do too. Thank you. I do too. Speaking of kind of like record shops and stuff, so recently, this is kind of a huge jump, but just the other night I watched the movie A Clockwork Orange. Have you seen it?
Had you not seen it before?
No. It was funny, about 10 minutes in, and there's like the futuristic record shop in that movie. 10 minutes in, I'm watching it with my brother, and he's like, "What's this rated?" I was like, "Oh, probably R." And we look at the box, it's rated X.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is the first X-rated movie I've ever seen.
Oh yeah, it was actually banned in several countries, and then they pulled it out of distribution theaters in the UK for like, I might be having my years wrong, but like, a couple decades. Like they wouldn't even let it be screened. You couldn't like buy it in like the UK or something for a long time because they were having a lot of like, or because they were blaming the movie for all these like copycat crimes that started once it went into theaters.
Oh, jeez.
So, I mean, it's if you haven't seen the movie, it's a strange movie. It's an extremely well done movie, but it's an intense movie. I mean, there's some disturbing imagery and some pretty. There's one scene in particular that's pretty messed up. So.
Oh, totally. And it's crazy because I just finished reading the book. That's why and a coworker let me borrow her DVD. And it's crazy because these people are acting, but you see like a certain like crime happening on your TV, and you just want to like help the person, it's a really challenging movie to just like watch without even like cringing. So it was kind of like I've never seen a movie like it before. So.
Oh yeah, no, it's a tough film to watch, especially in certain spots, and I mean it kind of pushes it. There's not a lot of, and I've noticed this as far as like films go, a lot of like really tough stuff. The film will kind of show like the start of it or the aftermath, but doesn't really show the during.
Yeah.
So like you'll be like, wow, that's pretty tough, and they'll show like the consequences of it, all that stuff, and you're like, wow, that's pretty harsh. But I mean, like this one, the big scene that was harshest for me. I mean, there's a very graphic rape scene in the movie, and that's one of those. And I mean, most movies like they'll kind of start showing, but then they'll stop, and you'll catch the aftermath and stuff. And like it goes for it. Like it goes all the way. Like you're very. Like it goes very deep into it, so you're pretty disturbed, and it's pretty intense by the end, which I think it's tough, but then I think it's kind of good as far as the film goes to make you kind of question things a little bit.
Oh, for sure, it's very unapologetic, and it's I don't know, it's very interesting. Well, I don't want to get too deep into it, but I did want to tell you that I did see that movie recently. But it's just just questioning of like who decides like what's moral and who doesn't. Is it like a government's role, or is it a collective of people? But if the collective of people is wrong, it's just very interesting who pretty much whoever speaks the loudest kind of chooses the rules, which is sad.
Yeah, no, that's true. It's a good movie. It kind of reminds me, it's not the same plot, but like the direction of the movie. Have you seen I'm sure you've seen a decent amount of like David Fincher movies, but particularly have you seen A Girl with the Dragon's Tattoo?
You know what, I actually haven't, and I don't know anything about the story, to be honest.
Oh my god, dude, it's a fantastic movie.
Yeah.
I've seen the original Swedish versions or whatever. I've seen all three of those. And oddly enough, usually you can't say this, but the American Girl with the Dragon Tattoo is a lot more intense and goes for it, because usually it's kind of the opposite. Like I watched a lot of Latin, Mexican, all those films. Like when I say Mexican, there's one that always sticks out as like Sin Nombre. Like films like that, I mean, they're graphic and they don't hold back. Like they're very non-apologetic, and they show a very like intense, very real world view of how things are. Not kind of that glossed over, okay, we don't want the audience too uncomfortable. And David Fincher's Girl with the Dragon Tattoo is intense, to say the least, in several parts, and it's awesome. Like, it's such a good movie. If without giving away too much, it's essentially, for those who haven't seen it or don't know about it, it's essentially this computer hacker lady partners up with a journalist to go and try to solve this crime where this woman went missing on an isolated island, and they can't figure out why or where she went or anything like that. And I mean, there's government cover up in it. I mean, there's a lot of there's several sexual assault scenes in it that are very, very intense. And then it's just overall, like, it's not one of those you watch to feel good, is maybe a good way to put it. It's one of those you watch it and you know, after you watch it, take a little bit of time to digest, but do something else to make you a little bit more uplifted. But it's a great movie. So, and I heard the book's really good. I just have never gotten a copy of the book to read yet. So
Sure. So you're saying maybe like watch some like cartoons right after you watch the movie?
Yeah.
Kinda. I don't know.
I took a girl on a date to it. Now, to be fair, she was my girlfriend at the time, so it wasn't as bad. It wasn't like a first date movie. Definitely not a first date movie, and definitely not one to watch with someone that you're not comfortable watching movies around.
Gotcha. Well, that's cool. I'll definitely have to put that on my list and probably check it out. Maybe even this weekend.
Oh, for sure. No, it's good. And now that we're down the rabbit hole of some movies,
might as well go for it, right?
Yeah, let's just roll. This is kind of a very odd segue, but it just came out today, so you can date now when we recorded this. But the new trailer and the first trailer for the movie Halloween, I'm not a fan of remakes or really reboots on some classic stuff. But I'm going to be honest, this first trailer came out today. I don't know if you're a fan of the series, but it has John Carpenter's attached to the movie. Jamie Lee Curtis is in there.
Oh, nice.
And the whole thing is, they said, you know what, there's a lot of films in between the original and this one, and we think pretty much all of them suck. So we're just going to completely disregard any of them besides
That's cool.
Yeah, besides the first. The second one wasn't bad, like the original second one, but all the other films, they're like, nope, don't even take them into account. Like, this is after the first one, and it looks pretty sweet. So I'm excited. I'm tentatively excited to see it when it comes out in October.
That's cool. I have seen one of them. I'm pretty sure it was, one that came out when I was like in high school or something. So probably one of the bad ones.
Probably. They had a couple of them come out. Yeah, I think around when we were in high school or something like that. The Rob Zombie remade the first one, the second one.
I think I saw that one.
Yep.
The dog's leaving.
He remade those two, and I like Rob Zombie, and they're not awful films by any stretch. I wasn't a huge fan of his first one, and the second one that he did wasn't bad. I thought the second one did a better job than the first one. But if you've ever seen a Rob Zombie movie, it's an experience.
Yeah, that's for sure. He goes for it. I do really enjoy. He has the movie The Devil's Rejects. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's actually a sequel to House of the Living Dead, or not House of the Living Dead, House of a Thousand Corpses. Okay.
And House of a Thousand Corpses is just bizarre, like it has some kind of ethereal parts to it, and it's just crazy. And if you've seen the show The Office and you know Dwight,
I'm familiar.
it'll change your view of Dwight. Let's put it that way. And he's in the movie, and he has a not so pleasant thing happen to him, is maybe a good way to put it. But then The Devil's Rejects is that's a crazy movie, and it's intense, but it's pretty good. So typical Rob Zombie.
Yeah. Speaking of like scary movies and stuff, have you heard of the movie Hereditary?
Yeah, I've seen a couple trailers and a couple previews for it. Well, I haven't seen a full trailer. I don't really know much about it. Okay. Other than I've seen a couple 20, 30-second spots on it.
I'm going to have to quickly just look this up on my phone. But the reason kind of it came into my knowledge, I heard that a trailer of it played before the Peter Rabbit movie. I think in New York or something. But so this movie's being really hyped up as being like the scariest movie of the year. And I think what is it, like 24 or something? Yeah, A24.
Oh, yeah.
They produced it, and they've got like a bunch of really good movies under their belts. Yeah, like I know Lady Bird and what are some other ones. Yeah. So anyway, just like hopefully it'll be like a really good movie. But I heard that children were screaming and parents were like grabbing their kids and like running out of the theater just because that played for the preview. So that's pretty awesome.
That's an excellent way to market your movie, is to sneak something in there so you can have a story come out where it's like, oh, this thing, that's just free publicity at that point.
Oh, totally. And that's exactly what they want, because it's like, oh, it scared people. Like, awesome.
That's why I want to watch it, is I want to try to feel something. So no, that I haven't seen anything other than really the name. Like I said, some spots. So I didn't know who was producing. They do have some. I just saw a thing where some of the movies that company came out with. I've seen a few of them. They were really good movies. But I'm just blanking. I think The Room was one of them, and then I think they said that Moonlight. I haven't seen Moonlight, but I know that was another. And there's a couple other ones. They're a lot more like those indie intense features, it sounds like.
Yeah, definitely. Because I was talking to my brother about it, and he was saying that pretty much like all their movies like have like 100 on like Rotten Tomatoes and all that stuff. And I do feel like a lot of that like stuff is kind of like, who cares? But if it gets critical acclaim, it's most likely gonna get like civilian acclaim. I don't know what I don't know what word I'm trying to say.
I get what you're saying. I think the opposite doesn't play true. If like audiences like a movie, doesn't mean critics will. I think if critics do, it can be kind of hit or miss, because there's a lot of pretentious movies out there that critics are like, oh, this is just wonderfully shot, this and this, and then you watch it like, this movie is just some pretentious assholes just trying to stroke their own ego with this. So yeah.
It's kind of funny you say that, because I was just right before you came over here, I was watching this. Are you familiar with Nathan Fielder? He's a comedian. Okay, so he's got his own show called Nathan For You. It's on Comedy Central. Really like dry, kind of deadpan humor, but we should we'll try to. I think we'll post the link to this on our Facebook or something. But he hires this comedian hires this guy that's like this doctor on like professional on cybersecurity, and he hacks the Emmys like voting website. And it's funny because he's trying to get his own show. I don't know, and he was kind of like joking about like how it's like easy to like hack up an election and stuff, and how like it was funny because he was saying like on if it pretty much goes through a computer how you're voting, and unfortunately some states that are like out of state ballots are online, it's like 100% like nothing's 100% like secure. So he it's kind of funny that you were saying like all these like people I don't know, like how there's like these big egos, and especially like if you're an Academy voter, like I feel like you probably like think you're like tough shit and stuff, but like these things can easily just get hacked.
Some random dude or people like us, if we had hacking skills, could get on there.
Oh, totally.
Maybe we could make a movie someday, and we could try we'll make a critically acclaimed movie and see if we can get into one of those and just hire someone to hack it so we win it, and then cause this big controversy, and the joke would be on them because we'd make a ton of money because of it. So
Speaking of which, I've been really into the TV show BoJack Horseman recently on Netflix, and one of the lines was he said, he's like, I need people to buy tickets for my movie. And he's like, but you won all those awards, and he's like it's like all those awards do is put leaves on your poster. I was like, oh, that's kind of clever.
Seems pretty true, though. Seems very true. Yeah, no, just because something is critically lauded doesn't mean you're making money on it.
Yeah, which is kind of funny because also like another there's this really cool band called The Voids. They just came out with an album this past year, and one of their songs is called Permanent High School, and one of the lines is just because it's popular doesn't mean it's good. So there's kind of this weird dynamic where it's like just because it gets certain ratings doesn't mean it gets money. Just because it makes it money doesn't mean it's good. I don't know. It's kind of interesting.
I mean, it kind of makes sense what I'm thinking musically. You think, and this was a couple years before our time, but like, you look at a band like Zeppelin or something.
A couple of years.
Yeah, a couple of years. Critically, I guess now I mean, we've grown up knowing Zeppelin's like this classic rock band all our lives. Everybody's like, oh, they're great and stuff. But apparently, I saw something. I mean, some people were telling me they were very popular. But like critically, people were like, "What is this madness?" and stuff like that. But I mean, then again, it's kind of at a time they were coming out at a time where
very
music,
conservative.
very conservative values, very conservative music stream. So then people are like, "Oh, this is just." Critics are like, "This is garbage. This doesn't fall," but everyone else is like, "This is great. Like, what is this?" So sometimes, post after or whatever, like people take a second look maybe or. Like this was genius afterwards. Kind of like the Power Rangers movie.
Yes.
With Ivan Ooze.
Oh, it's 100% like the Power Rangers movie.
Greatest opening sequence of all time. Well, I don't know. I said that again. This is also a little bit off topic, but the beginning of that movie inspired me to go skydiving.
Yeah.
Because the beginning of it's when they're jumping out of an airplane. You got some Red Hot Chili Peppers playing, and it's just awesome.
Oh yeah.
But the other great opening, also from the same decade, as in some 90s nostalgia from being a kid, but the opening to Space Jam, it's just so emotional. He's out, he's practicing shooting hoops. Michael's dad comes out, gives him a little bit of talk about life, just kind of that hit. And then he turns and he looks at that hoop, and he just, while they're walking in, he stops, sees the hoop, goes up for the layup, shoots it, and then boom, Space Jam cutscene of Michael Jordan just doing Michael Jordan and Space Jam's theme song, and it's awesome. Great movie.
Oh heck yeah. I know a lot of people have been talking about like possibly they should make like a new Space Jam with LeBron. Thoughts?
They've been saying that. Honestly,
I think probably 5 years now.
Oh no, dude! I think like a decade or something like that. Like I remember in high school, because I think LeBron owns a production company or something.
Oh really?
And I think they have, like his production company bought the rights to it or something.
So this might be actually real.
They've been saying it for like a decade or something like that. People bounce it around. I don't know if it'll ever happen. I think it'd be interesting, but it's kind of one of those. It would go one of two ways. It'd either make me really mad, because it wouldn't be well, or it would be awesome. Like there's no middle ground. There's no. It could be an okay movie. I mean, Space Jam is just. It's a classic, and anybody that says it wasn't a good movie, I will fist fight.
Yeah, and that is kind of interesting. Because I wonder what the humor would be like. Because I mean, hopefully it'd be still like the slapstick stuff. But if you like like classic Looney Tunes.
Yeah.
But if you flip through like kids, like I'm gonna be honest, like I'm a grown ass man, but I really like cartoons and stuff. But so like I was recently like just flipping through some channels, and the cartoons they have out like now, like aimed for children, are just awful.
Oh yeah.
But I feel like we could watch like Space Jam now and appreciate because it's just like fun.
Yeah.
So hopefully it wouldn't like make you mad.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. And I agree with that. I don't have cable or anything, but I've seen when I've been around kids, some of like their cartoon shows or whatever, and they just don't seem to be anywhere near as good. I was talking to one of my friends, has a couple kids, and he's like, yeah, dude, like you got to see their cartoons. Like they're just. He's no wonder everybody thinks kids are so jittery, because I mean you watch the cartoon, it's just flashing back and forth all this stuff. It's like just super hyper everywhere. And then I think back to like the great cartoons that I grew up on, and this is nostalgic personal opinions, but like I think of something like an Angry Beavers or Cat Dog, or in my opinion, and maybe not a lot of other people's opinion, like Courage the Cowardly Dog,
Oh,
like shows like
hell
that.
yeah.
I mean, they're not like jumpy shows. I mean, they got a lot of continuous things. Actually, can appreciate watching them as an adult because there's quite a bit of adult humor in them, and
Without a doubt.
and yeah, it's just seems like they're probably a lot different. Which, I mean, even if you think about it, then it'd be a lot different than what our parents had for cartoons growing up from seeing some of that. So
That's very true. Yeah, that's funny how people just need to make things like really quick to just keep people's attention. I remember watching some of those like the 90s Batman animated series.
oh yeah,
Like, you wouldn't know what the heck was going on until like the last couple minutes of the episode. It like really was like a journey of like, which is cool. And it's kind of like we're kind of running out of time here, but like a kind of like a Scooby-Doo where it's like you need to pay attention to like every detail for you to like try to solve things, which is kind of sad if they're just catering to like like really quick. And I don't know. That's not good storytelling.
yeah. And now we could have it completely off.
Yeah.
If you listeners, if you have kids or you just watch a lot of modern cartoons, let us know. Let us know if there's any we should check out that we might appreciate. That I would have easy access to. Like I said, I don't have cable or anything, so it might be difficult for me to catch up on those. But no, it'd be interesting. But yeah, no, we're like Drew said, we're running out of some time. But just want to throw this out there. I'm not gonna say anything yet. I want to get the hype train started though while we can.
Yeah.
So we, on this journey, we've been going through a life journey since our last episode. Crazy shit's happening out here. And we had an idea. It blossomed. It bloomed. We put it in a pot, and the seed's starting to sprout, and starting to get some roots growing. And we're waiting for the shoots to come out. But we might have a pretty cool idea that we're exploring going on for kind of like an offshoot podcast.
Yeah.
Because I think we'll let you guys know as we go. But we had kind of an offshoot idea that I think would be pretty interesting and pretty unique to where we're at regionally. For South Dakota, it's something. I mean that we haven't really seen around, and it'd be kind of fun to go down, and we're gonna have to hammer a lot more home on it before we officially do any announcements. But all I'll say is what it is a mystery, but it involves mysteries. So we'll go with that to let you guys get thinking.
Heck yeah.
So yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Stay tuned. Thanks for tuning in. This has been the Half Done Podcast.
Take her easy out there, my friends.